So, good evening, everybody. It's great to see you all. I'm just gonna try and reboot this. 1 second. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I wonder if you can hear me. I wonder if I'm going to be able to see this. Okay, yes, this looks a lot better. It's just I couldn't see what I was printing. That's much better. Good. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Roland, Manji, Gabriel, Nora, Victor Gabriel, Roland again, Manji. Good evening, Count. Hi, yo there, left or right. Good evening, English is fun. And good evening, Burak, Malak, Ferdos as well. Okay, this looks great. So, okay, it's good to have you with us, Ferdos. Okay, you can hear as well. That's great. It's just I couldn't see clearly before. Okay, so let's see. It's easier to discern, glimpse, ascertain, fathom whether a team member might be struggling with a task when they're sat in front of you. You just don't get that visibility when they're 30 or 40 miles away from you in their own home. Okay, good evening, Vibes. Good evening, Iwana. Great to see you again. Good evening, Jerry. And good evening, Pooja and Ludmilla as well. Okay, we got lots of people. This is great. Okay, so ASCERTAIN. Oh yes, you're definitely right there. Thank you, left or right. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, Vitali as well. Great to have you, and Kishore. So, which one of these are you guys and girls going to go for? We've had a couple of votes for discern. Let's see, discern from Roland, discern from Nora, discern from Gabriel, and okay, Jerry and Count Beauty go for ascertain. Kishore, good evening. Okay, so lots of people saying ascertain. I've changed it so it's is sat versus is sitting. I think they're the same. Okay, so lots of you have gone for ascertain. This is very good. Okay, so let's see. To glimpse. A glimpse is a little look. No way. What about this verb to fathom? Yeah? To fathom. I think fathom might work, but it's my third answer. Okay, a fathom is the depth of the sea. Yeah? And you take a piece of rope with a piece of lead on it, and you put it in the water, and you see how far it goes, and when it hits the bottom, you know how deep the water is. And like that, you discover whether it's how deep it is. So I think fathom is possible. I don't like it though. Normally you try to fathom something that's really complicated. I can't fathom what he means by this. I can't fathom what he's saying. So to gauge, to understand. And for me, fathom is my third choice. Okay, lots more people here. So good evening, Ali. Nice to have you. Okay, so let's see. I think my second answer is discern. Yeah, and I think you To discern, yeah, to work out. But my favourite answer here is ascertain, with the spelling mistake and everything. ASCERTAIN. To ascertain, to find out, to discover. Okay, so find out, to discover. Descifrar, absolutely, Jerry. Okay. Yes, that's it, Manji. Ascertain first, discern second, fathom third. Good evening, Abira. So, enormous, huge, massive, giant. I think they're all the same. Yeah, I don't really see any great difference between the three. Okay, good evening, Maria. Good evening, Kamal, as well. So, okay, so to ascertain, to find out, yeah, to discover. I think this, so ascertain first, discern second, and fathom maybe a long third. It's a pleasure, Amimul. Okay, it's a pleasure to help you. It's a pleasure to help you all. I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer between those. I think maybe huge is a bit more informal. It's an enormous problem. It's a huge problem. It's a massive problem. It's a giant problem. I would go for the same. Okay, lugubrious, dark and scary. So yes, Maria, I'm going to discern, to perceive. Wow, thank you, left or right. That's really kind of you. You're a king, a prince amongst men. Okay, so aside from visibility, bosses, furthering, upholding, advancing, championing, a shift from remote working, also tend to highlight the social and creative possibilities for office-based employees. Thank you very much again, left or right. So, Count Beauty goes for advancing. 100k subscribers. It's going to. I still need another 3,500. It's going to take me 6 weeks yet. So Cheyenne goes for advancing, upholding. Interesting. So 2 votes for advancing, or 1.5 for advancing, and half a vote for upholding. Let's see what else you say. What other people are going to say. It's interesting because the video tomorrow morning is exactly about one of these words. So let's see what everybody else says for this, because I'd be interested to hear. So Abira goes furthering, Jerry goes upholding. Right, keep them coming. Vitali goes for championing, Nora goes for championing or upholding, Gabriel goes for upholding. This is interesting. So we've had all of the answers. Left right goes for championing, and Roland goes for championing as well. So let's see a few more, and I'm going to what words? Difficult words, yeah? Okay. So to further is to make something go further, yeah? His research is furthering science, yeah, to go further. And these bosses aren't furthering it, they're suggesting it, they're supporting it. Okay, to uphold. Normally to uphold is to ratify somebody else's decision. Yeah, so maybe somebody is found guilty in court, and then they appeal, and the next court upholds that appeal. Upholding a shift. I guess upholding would work, but I don't like it very much. I think I'd probably go for it as a second answer. Good evening, Pepax. Okay, and Hubby, great to see you. Championing, says Hubby. Okay, so let's see. Manji goes for champion. Malak advancing. Pooja upholding. Hubby for championing. Renyard for advancing. Arthur for upholding. Maria doesn't want to know. Thank you so much, Amimul. That's really, really kind of you. And to you again as well, left or right. Okay. Further is not measurable, yes. Okay, to further something. But I can't find a serious difference between them, Ali. I think probably huge is a little bit less informal, but the difference is negligible. So to ratify, to turn into a rat, or to uphold what somebody says, to agree with what they say. I made a decision and my boss ratified, he upheld my decision. To advance means normally to suggest something. So I would like to advance a few ideas. Yeah? Okay, and Roland says this group champions the rights of the minority. So, yes, championing. CHAMPIONING. So to champion, to support, to give support to defend. Good evening, Oskana. So well done those who got championing. For example, Manji. Okay, so to champion, to support, and notice to champion a cause is I think is a really good subject. Okay, so he champions human rights. He works as a champion for minority groups. So to champion. To advance, to suggest, to uphold, to ratify, to agree with somebody else's decision, to further, to make go more distance. Okay, so he's furthering his education. For instance, icebreaker chats by the water cooler, in person, investitures, inductions, baptisms, preambles for new hires, team building after work drinks, and spontaneous brainstorms, I think probably brainstormings, to champion, to support, to defend. That's good, Roland. Okay, so in person, investitures, inductions, baptisms, preamble. The champion champions this case, this cause. So, Vibes goes for preamble. He's the first one to answer. Good evening, Oskana. And Count goes for Count Beauty. Left for right, Vitali and Cheyenne go for inductions. Okay, notice, I think induction is an American word, but that it's not one I'd probably use in British English, but well, here the BBC have used it. Okay, an investiture, and Nora's gone for inductions as well. Okay, so an investiture is when you officially give somebody their office. So the investiture of a new king, the investiture of the Lord Mayor. An investiture is like a ceremony where somebody officially gets their official position. Okay, a preamble. This is normally an explanation, a written explanation of what something is going to be about. It's the bit that goes before, where maybe you define what different terms and things mean. Okay, so a preamble. It's like a preface. Very often a piece of legislation, they have a preamble explaining the objective of it and the different things. Okay, a baptism, I think a preamble is most normally written. An investiture is a ceremony. A baptism of fire. Baptism is normally a ceremony where they give a baby a name. No, the word is inductions. I know American universities, an introductory speech, a preamble. Yes. Okay, so no, inductions is actually the word used. I know when people go to university, particularly in the US, normally they go through induction, which is the very first thing, where they tell people where everything is, where they're supposed to go, where the different things. Induction is the initial explanation of everything that you need to know. A preamble to an agreement, that's very good. So, inductions, investitures, a ceremony, preambles, the bit before a speech or the bit before a law, the bit before a piece of legislation explaining what it is. A baptism, a baptism of fire, yeah, where you have a really difficult beginning, but induction, this is the word the Americans use the whole time. Okay, induction is where you're brought into an organization. Inaugural, yeah, just about, I guess. I guess work, Cheyenne. Okay, so champions also to win. Yeah, the champion is the winner. Yeah, so the supporters champion the champions. Maybe. Okay, let's try the next one. But we did our best during lockdowns, to try and be as creative and free-flowing as possible. But it's absolutely, utterly, pretty, totally hard when you have to schedule a call for every single thing, says Daniel Bailey, 34, CEO, the boss, Chief Executive Officer of a London-based footwear research company that's moving into an office in the city's new design district in September. So, an induction hob, that works as well, left or right. So Vitali goes for pretty, and Cheyenne goes for utterly, Count Beauty goes for pretty, Abira goes for utterly, Vibes goes for utterly, Animal goes for pretty, Pepax utterly, Manji pretty, and new members will undergo a company induction. That's the concept, Roland. Pretty hard sounds nice. That sounds pretty good to me, Javi. Left or right, Renyard and Renyard go for pretty, and Jerry goes for totally. Okay, so there's a very clear question here. So absolutely you can only use with extreme adjectives. And hard, no, hard is gradable. There are different levels. You could say absolutely impossible, but not absolutely hard. Yeah? Utterly. This also goes with absolutes. That's utterly impossible. That's absolutely impossible. Pretty you can use for gradables, because it might be hard. It might be 6 out of 10 hard, 7 out of 10 hard, or 10 out of 10 hard. Yeah? And again, totally goes with absolutes. This is totally impossible. It's totally boiling in here. Yeah? So, absolutely, utterly, totally for absolutes. It's absolutely boiling. It's absolutely impossible. Yeah? Whereas pretty, it's pretty good. Yeah? Fairly good. It's absolutely disgraceful. That's great, left or right. My cat is an utter liar. Absolutely, Pepax. That's great. So, it's got to be pretty hard. Hi there, Hilda. Great to see you. So, it can only be pretty. None of the other ones work. Okay, so, that's pretty difficult. Also, there are other words like quite. That's quite difficult for gradables, but that's quite impossible. Absolutely. This word quite you can use in both ways, but it's quite unusual. It's fairly unusual. Absolutely gorgeous. Pretty expensive. Yes, but not absolutely expensive. Very good. She's absolutely gorgeous. This is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Thought-provoking. It makes you think about something. Yes, exactly, Nora. It's utterly unacceptable. Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not totally good, and that's the idea. The eagle swooped down pretty fast. Absolutely. So let's try the next one. Working remotely has an absolutely massive, absolutely massive benefits. But I don't think it'll ever be better than being in one place together for the creative procedure, action, operation, process, he says. Okay, so Vitaly, Cheyenne, go for process. Yes, Jerry, very difficult. Process, count beauty. Yeah, very. Yes, that's the idea. Pretty is very. Absolutely, Jerry. Manji, Ibrahim, Nora, and Pooja go for process. Creative process, they just go together. It's a collocation, isn't it, Pepax? Utterly done in. Absolutely, but pretty tired. So, Gabriel, good evening, Tomek. Process, left or right, process. Clean sweep. Yep, it's just about a clean sweep. I don't see anybody who's missing this one. Abira and Jerry go for process as well. Yeah, creative process. Absolutely. The creative process. Okay, definitely a collocation. Whoops, is this one going to fit? Yes, I think it just fits. I'm lucky. Yes, process from Abira, Roland and Renyard. The creative process. Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. Okay, because correct is either correct or not correct. We don't normally say that's pretty correct. No. Okay, creative process, absolutely, Khabi, and Malak as well. Totally is a quantifier, but absolute. Yeah, with absolutes. Well done, Hilda. Procedure and process. Okay, I think you follow a procedure, yeah, whereas you could do a process without following a procedure. I think a procedure is written down. Okay, and that's quite good. So let's see. Let me read. Kerry Simpson, director of the development company behind the new neighborhood, says other bosses are focusing, prioritizing, precedencing, paramounting a return to the office for their staff to be able to host and attend physical networking events again, or connect with other industry professionals in the same area. New businesses need to find opportunities for growth that often come from these chance encounters. Yeah. Absolutely prohibited, yes. Good, Malak. You can't say pretty prohibited. It's absolutely, utterly, totally. You've got to use one of those, Malak. So, Vitali, Cheyenne, count beauty, Nora. Clean, okay, Pooja. Everybody, clean sweep means everybody got the right answer. So prioritizing again for Vitali, Cheyenne, Count Beauty, Nora, left right, Tomek, Javi, Manji. Yes, you can, definitely, Malak. Pepax goes for paramounting. Utterly sounded more British for the BBC than pretty, but the adjective wasn't suitable. Absolutely. Well, it's actually an adverb, but yes. Okay, prioritizing. Good evening, Seema. And Oksana goes for paramounting as well. And Victor Gabriel goes for prioritizing. So here's a kick in the teeth to start with. To paramount isn't a verb. This, okay, safety is paramount. It's an adjective of paramount importance. But we don't use paramount as a verb. So it doesn't work. Okay, focusing on And precedencing, to precedence. I don't think I would use to precedence as a verb. I think something takes precedence. Yeah? Therefore, it's got to be prioritizing. Prioritizing. I think I'm going to put a Z there. I don't like the look of that S. But I'm sure you'll all tell me. Yeah, so to prioritize, to give something, to make something of paramount importance. Something is paramount, something of paramount importance. Yes, gradable, that's the word. Hard was gradable, exactly, vibes. So well done Seema, well done Malak. Paramount Pictures. Yeah, because they're the top of everything. But you can't to paramount, and I don't think you can to precedence. Yeah, and then focusing has got to be on, therefore it's got to be prioritizing. It can't be anything else. Okay, so, ooh goody, we got a double coming up. Prominent and paramount. Paramount is absolutely top. Prominent is leading, but it's not necessarily the most important. Paramount, top importance. Yeah, whereas prominent, important, but maybe not the top or the most important. Yeah, precedencing is not a thing either. Absolutely, Vitali. Yeah. Okay, yeah. When in doubt in English, you have to guess, because there are always going to be situations where you just don't know, and then you need to guess, invent, do things. So, out of sight, out of mind. That means if you can't see something, you don't think about it. Whatever manager's motivations for displacing, shifting, shuffling, passing away from remote work, stating a clear preference for visible employees, brings, rises, raises, rears important questions about equity in the workforce. If some staff are still working remotely or spending a higher proportion of their time at home than others. So, let's see. Cheyenne goes for shuffling. Yeah. Okay, with this S's and Z's nowadays, my mind is just a mush. I can't tell the difference anymore, hubby. Okay, so Vitali goes for shifting and raises. Cheyenne goes for raise. And Pepax is thinking shift or raise. Shifting and raise. Okay, Jerry goes for shifting. Manji shifting and raises. VG raises. Hilda shifting. Seema shifting. Abira shifting raises. Left right shifting raises. Nora shifting raises. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of heart. That's good, Pepax. Oksana shifting and raises. Okay, Malak's gone for passing. To pass away, Malak. To die. It's a euphemism for to die. So passing away, I don't like it very much. So Roland goes for shifting and raises. Renyard the same. Maria the same. Hilda the same. Vibes the same. Okay, Jerry's gone for rise. Pooja for shifting and raises. Rears important questions. I guess it could fit, but I don't like it very much, left or right. Mush, something that has no form. It's like a mashed potato, a mush, something that's a puree or something like that. Okay, Jerry's gone for raises, good. Okay, so to shift away from, to move away from, absolutely. To displace away from, no. Motivations for displacing remote work, maybe. To shuffle is to change order. You shuffle the cards before you deal them. And to passing away from, Poof, I guess it might work, but no, pass away is not a good one, because to pass away is a euphemism for to die. Yeah? Mush. Yeah, I like that word. It's sort of like something that's mashed. Okay, so to shift away from, to move away from. Rears up. Rears up in, you see, I would probably say from employee, I would say the important questions rear up. Yeah? Okay, so brings, well, brings, it's very weak. Brings up might help. Rises. So something rises, yeah, and rises intransitive. It doesn't take a verb. The sun rises. My pay rises. Whereas raise is transitive, has a direct object. And this raises, brings up, makes, lift up important questions. Okay, so to rear. To a horse stands on its back legs. It rears up. Yeah, to rear, or to rear, to bring up children. So to rear. I think that I would probably say the this question rears its ugly head. This problem rears its ugly head. Okay, rears up. Okay, but normally the important questions rear up. Yeah. Whereas it's the other way round. To rears its ugly head. Inflation has reared its ugly head. Okay, very good vibes. I love it. Yes, raise, transitive, regular. Rise, intransitive, irregular. Good evening, Mohammed. Great to see you. Okay, so I'm going in this one. I'm definitely going to go for raises. Yeah, it raises its ugly head. It rears its ugly head. Okay, Nora. Metamorphosis. Metamorphose. Metamorphosis. Metamorphose. Metamorphosis. Yeah, very definitely for me. Raises also collocates with questions. Exactly. To raise questions. Absolutely, Seema. That's very good. Yeah, to raise questions, it collocates it very well. I was reared in the countryside. I was brought up in the countryside. Yeah? Okay, this problem rears its ugly head. So, raise is the answer, VG. To raise. Yeah? So, shift away from and raise important questions. Yes, to raise a question. This raises the question of how much we should pay. I'm going to have a little drink here. Okay, so when a problem appears, Renyard, it rears its ugly head. So I think with COVID, just when we seem to have got think that it's gone, then it rears its ugly head again. COVID rears its ugly head. This problem has reared its ugly head. It's come back. A problem that comes back. Yeah, something that's normally wrong. Okay, yes, so let's try this. Good evening, Susanta. A while since we've seen you. Great to have you. Pro-office bosses like Rogers are often quick to insist that businesses can and should work to secure, confirm, assure, ensure there are equal experiences and opportunities for the team, whether they are office-based or not. Okay, so secure, confirm, assure, ensure. And let's see, Vitali, Cheyenne, left or right, Seema, Count Beauty, Manji, Javi, Pepax, VG, go for ensure. Then VG also goes for Ashore, Pooja for Ashore, Oksana for ensure, vibes for ensure, raises transitive and rises intransitive. Yes, Roland. To ensure and assure, no, they are not synonyms, VG. To ensure means to make certain, and to assure means to guarantee. So I assure you this is true with an A. Yeah, he reassured me that it wasn't a problem. He assured me that he would pay me tomorrow. To ensure, to make certain. Please ensure, the first one, the door is locked. Okay, so Hilda goes for ensure. Yes, inflation has raised its ugly head. Jerry for ensure. To make sure would also work, absolutely. And that's why it's ensure. Maria, Roland and Malak all go for ensure as well. Yes, ensure. Okay, to assure is to guarantee. They should confirm. To confirm is to tell someone that something is true or that it has happened. And should work to confirm, to make certain. I guess confirm might work, but ensure is a much better word. So I'm going to go ensure 1, confirm a bad 2. To secure, to make safe or to get. So I managed to secure, to obtain a loan from the bank. So ensure number 1, confirm number 2. Ensure that your belt is fastened, absolutely. So ensure is correct, absolutely, VG. Okay, yeah, Malak, Nora, I assure you that it is. Malak, Nora, Renyard go for ensure. Secure is to make safe. Security as an adjective. That's very good. A comment from VG is assured on every video. Yep, that's a very nice one, Leferat. I like it. Yeah, I assure you it is. Absolutely, Pepax. So, whoops, I've just gone a fraction too far. Okay, so let's try it. But the wait a second. But the Society for Human Resource Management's recent survey suggested that around 2/3 of managers of remote staff believe full-time remote work is actually hurtful, unhealthy, bad, inexpedient, detrimental to, this word's important, employees' career objectives. A similar proportion admit to considering remote employees more easily replaceable than on-site workers. To secure my position in the company, absolutely. To insure, this is normally insure, VG is talking about insurance. Yeah, thank you, Cold Zero. Okay, so I need to insure my car. Yeah, insure the house insurance. Yeah, okay, so Vitali goes for detrimental, Seema goes for detrimental as well. Okay, hurtful, unhealthy, bad, inexpedient, detrimental to employees' career objectives. So now we've had Leferite, Roland and Nora also going for detrimental, and Maria Mikkonen as well. Unhealthy. So Hilda, what's the preposition that goes with unhealthy? Good evening, Ronan, great to have you here. I hope work went well. Detrimental to is what hubby says. Inexpedient. Okay, if something is inexpedient, it's not very useful. It's a slow way of doing something. If something is expedient, it's an easy solution. Yeah, if something is inexpedient, it's inconvenient. Yeah, it's slow and it doesn't work very well. Okay, so inexpedient, slow and not very positive. Okay, I would say inexpedient for employees' career objectives. So Ronan goes for detrimental. Susanta and Jerry have gone for inexpedient. Unhealthy for employees' career objective. Absolutely. Unhealthy for, exactly. So, but notice what Susanta's just said above you. Unhealthy for. It can't be. Oksana goes for detrimental. Malak goes for detrimental. Is it grammatically in remand as well? Some other words will take for. Okay, so detrimental to. Detrimental to. If something is detrimental, it's bad. Okay, hurtful. If something's hurtful, it's the insult was very hurtful. The way she behaved was extremely hurtful. It hurt my feelings. I guess you could use unhealthy if there was a for. Yeah, it's unhealthy for employees' career objectives. It's bad for. It's inexpedient to, I think, generally for. Yeah? Okay. The metro is the most expedient to avoid the traffic jams. Absolutely. That's a great example, Roland. I love it. Okay, so detrimental to. Yeah, smoking is detrimental to health. Yeah, the detrimental to, bad for. Okay, yeah, sugar is detrimental to your teeth. Yeah, so it's saying that working remotely is not very good for your career objectives. It's detrimental to your objectives because they consider people more easily replaceable. It's detrimental for health. I would say detrimental to health. I think you could probably say detrimental for as well. Is gradually affecting negativity. Yes. Detrimental to, bad for. Exactly, VG. That's it. That's the idea. Something is detrimental to. So carbon dioxide is detrimental to the environment. Yeah, I think you could say detrimental for as well. Yeah. Autocorrect earlier. To agrees grammatically. Other words take for. Not beneficial. Detrimental. That's a good one. Okay, so I'm going to put the next one here. Yeah, something that's detrimental is not beneficial to. It's bad for, as Gabriel put it. Okay, that's quite interesting. Detrimental, very bad. It means to harm. A plan or action can be inexpedient. Yeah, it's not the most efficient thing to do. It doesn't work very well. Yes. Yeah, defeminizing women during the Holocaust is very detrimental to their self-esteem. Okay, so the adage, idiom, catchphrase, motto, out of sight, out of mind, explains perfectly why this sentiment exists among people managers. And it explains how deeply ingrained, inbred, instinctual, intrinsic the idea of face-to-face work is in our culture, argues Johnny C. Taylor, the organization's CEO. Expedient is pragmatic. That's a very good one. Absolutely, Seema. Knowledge of grammar is very helpful. So count goes for idiom. That's a good example. Drinking too much alcohol is detrimental to our health. Absolutely, VG. Perfect phrase. Expedient, pragmatic. I love that definition, Renyard. Hilda goes for idiom. VG goes for idiom. Pepax goes for adage by elimination, which means he doesn't know the meaning, but he says the others don't fit. And then Count Beauty goes deeply ingrained. Cheyenne for adage, Ronan for abage, Maria Mikkonen for deeply ingrained, Jerry adage and ingrained, Leferai adage, Hilda idiom and ingrained, Vitali catchphrase, deeply ingrained, pepax. Idiom is something surreal like gone to the dogs, or put your foot in the mouth. Very good, pepax. It's definitely not an idiom. So Ronan goes for intrinsic, yes. Duolingo calls out of sight, out of mind an idiom. I don't think it's I think it's actually something else. So Seema goes for adage. Leferite goes for adage and ingrained. Vibes goes for adage and ingrained. Pooja goes for idiom. Oksana goes for adage. And Renyard goes for motto and deeply ingrained. Seema goes for idiom now. Abira goes for idiom. Hubby goes for idiom, deeply ingrained. Hilda goes for idiom and ingrained. Nora goes for adage and ingrained. Okay, Oksana goes for ingrained. Manji, adage, ingrained. Seema, ingrained. Abira, ingrained. Ronan, deeply ingrained. Pooja, intrinsic. Malak, idiom, and okay, yes, it's me. Good evening. So for me, this is the word they used in the original article was adage. Notice native speakers don't use this word an idiom very much. This is something used by language teachers. Let's see, to me an adage is a proverb. It has a meaning, yeah, in itself. This means if you don't see something, then you don't think about it. And to me that's an adage, not an idiom. An idiom, don't let the cat out of the bag. Whereas an adage, you've got to say the whole thing and you can't change it. Okay, an adage, a stitch in time saves 9. And I would call that an adage, not an idiom. Okay, catchphrase. The catchphrase, out of sight, out of mind. It could work as well. I would use it, have it as second choice. Most normally a catchphrase is something that an actor or a television star always says and is famous for saying. Yeah, okay, absolutely. Hi there, students. That's my catchphrase. An adage is like an aphorism. Yes, very definitely. It's an adage. I think it's an adage, not an idiom, and I would strongly disagree with Duolingo. Okay. So yes, I remember you. Yes, it's me, definitely. The old adage, yeah? The old proverb, the old saying, yeah? Cleanliness is next to godliness. That's an adage, yeah? And idiom is meta language, not appropriate in context. That's very good, Seema. So Maria, an aphorism, absolutely. Yes, you could call them both expressions, definitely. Okay, well, a game of squids. A squid is something that you eat that's very delicious. But what type of squid? Because there are hundreds of different types. Okay, so the catchphrase is something an actor says again. So the Fonzie says, hey, yeah? Okay, and a motto. A motto normally are some words that represent a group or an organization. Honi soit qui mal y pense. Evil be to he who thinks of it. That's a motto. The family motto. Ardus ad solem. Work to the stars. Okay, and how deeply so. Inbred. If something's inbred, it talks about something that comes in from generation to generation, yeah, and it's in the blood. It's something you can't get out. Instinctual. Well, it may be instinctual. Intrinsic, no, but deeply ingrained. This is definitely the answer. Okay, you're completely drawn by the stream. An idiom is also a catchphrase. Well, it doesn't have to be, because "hi there, students" is not an idiom, but it's definitely a catchphrase. Yes, I know. I've seen a bit of Squid Game. It's a Korean series. Deeply ingrained. If something is deeply ingrained, it's part of it. Yeah? Watchword. That's good, Bread, for a catchphrase. A watchword. I quite like that. Yeah. Okay, so yes, ingrained, deeply ingrained, embedded, absolutely. The desire to explore the world is deeply ingrained in us. He has an inbred ability for languages. He acts instinctually. He doesn't think about it, it's instinctual. And the intrinsic value of gold is very, very low. Yeah, the internal, the real value of it. Okay, so absolutely. Yes, deeply ingrained. I would say deeply ingrained is a good collocation as well. Yeah. Okay, so deeply etched, that would work very nicely, Javi. I like that a lot. Ingrained is what is imbibed. Yes, is what you grow up with, something that's cultural. Face to face and in person. Well, let's see. I think you could do something. I delivered the letter in person. Yeah, I myself went there. Whereas face to face, you see somebody and you give it to them. Intrinsic, innate. That's very good. Okay, so inbred ability. Other research suggests that some managers still wrestle, struggle, flounder, fight to trust employees who are working from home. So, have difficulty. Inveterate, an inveterate liar. They always lie. So, let's see. Struggle for Vitali Cheyenne. Abira, Malem, good evening Malem, for Oksana, for Count, for Leforite, for Gabriel, for Hilda, for Maria, for Nora. A homemade gift has intrinsic value. That's very good. I like that, Roland. Pooja goes for flounder. Okay, it's a pleasure, Hilda. Intrinsic value is a technical financial term. Yeah, the intrinsic value of a company is what you get when you actually sell all the individual bits, but very often valuations are made on profits. Okay, so Seema goes for wrestle and struggle. Wrestle to trust. I think I might accept wrestle as a second answer, Seema, but I think struggle is much better. Okay, to flounder. Well, a flounder is a type of flat fish. So, to flounder, like a fish out of water. Yeah, to flounder, to not know what to do. The ship floundered in the storm. It lost its ability to move. Okay, to flounder, to be in difficulties, not to be able to do anything. Okay, fight, very definitely not. Are struggle and fight synonyms? Well, fight is normally physical, whereas struggle is to have difficulty. They're similar but not the same. They struggled for control. They fought for control. In some way, some circumstances, yes. Okay, I think to struggle, to have difficulty doing. To fight is more physical. Flounder wealth. No. To squander, Seema. Squander, Seema. So let's see. Wow. Hilda struggle. Manji struggle. Gabriel. Victor Gabriel. But also struggle. Pepax. Renyard. Ronan. Jerry. And Roland, Seema, say struggle. Javi, struggle to trust. Health track, struggle. Hilda, to struggle. Wow, I'm getting behind here. Okay, very good. Then watch the flounder video. The struggle is real. Yeah? Malak, struggle. Seema, to flounder with. No, to spend stupidly. To lose. Good evening, Mr. Longlegs. A flounder's an animal. It's a type of flat fish. Flounder is like a dolphin. No, it's not like a dolphin. A flounder is a fish that lives on the bottom. Very tasty. Thank you, Mr. Longlegs. Flounder's a fish. Flounder, to fail. That's very good. Okay, flounder is a flat fish from left or right. Here, nooks and crannies. Places. Okay, to wrestle. Well, as in wrestling, I'm wrestling with my conscience. It's a bit like fighting and struggling, yeah? So, wrestle and struggle. Wrestle is very similar. Wrestle is a type of fighting, yeah? Okay, so, to keep a grudge means to continue to be angry about something even though it's finished. So Maha goes for struggle. To flounder, to blunder, to fail. Yeah? To not be successful. Okay? To flaunt wealth. I love it. I'm trying to spend your wealth stupidly. I'm looking for a word. Here, wrestle. Okay, thank you very much. Reading comprehension. It's just reading comprehension is quite a difficult one to make videos about. Okay, so outcomes, verdicts, judgments, discoveries, findings, facts. From an online survey of the 200 US executives in August, suggested they didn't have full faith in a third of their staff to correctly utilize the collaborative remote technologies needed to make remote working successful. Okay, I'll think about it, Pepax, no problem about tangential comments. So, findings for Vitali, Cheyenne, Malem. My baby's struggling to learn to crawl. Absolutely. Drudgery is hard work, hard physical work. Bears a grudge against you, doesn't go eye to eye with you. Yeah, somebody who's still angry later. So Hilda goes for findings, Ahmed goes for findings, Abira goes for findings, Manji for findings, Ibrahim Seema goes for findings. They're floundering in the sea. They're in the sea. Well, in the sea means they're swimming. On the sea means they're on a boat. Okay, Hilda goes for findings. Pepax goes for discoveries. Flaunt wealth again from Bitali. Gabriel goes for outcomes. Finn finds. I think you mean findings, Jerry, but that'll do fine. Roland for findings. Ronan for outcomes. Left right for findings. Count findings. Aren't finds, findings and discoveries similar? No, they're not. Finds and discoveries are similar. Findings are the result of investigation, the result of research. Okay, so the results of some piece of work. Findings is the right answer. Pooja goes for facts. To struggle, to strive. Absolutely, Ferndos. Nora goes for findings. Malak's findings. Renyard findings. Facts are the truths. Okay, a cliche is something that everybody says and they use it far too much, so it becomes old and boring. To flounder at sea. So findings. Okay, the verdict. The verdict is the result in a court of law. Yeah, so the judge gave a guilty verdict. Yeah, a jury gives a verdict. Yeah, verdict, innocent or guilty. The outcome is the result of a situation. What was the outcome of the match? Judgments. Well, to judge. To judge, a judgment is an opinion whether something's good or bad or expedient or expensive. Yeah? Discoveries, where you discover something new. Yeah? Findings. Yeah, the findings of a report. These are the results. These are the findings of this research were. So findings from a survey, absolutely. And the facts, the true things. But maybe people don't answer the survey correctly, so not necessarily facts. They're all findings. Okay, so, how to improve English speaking skills. Practice, 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 practice. Think in English. Talk to yourself in English. Findings collocates with survey. Absolutely, Seema. Okay, something that's trite is a cliche. That's very good, Pepax. Okay, watch Full House. A trite cliche. You'll get fin finds at sea. Okay. Cliche, something so commonplace and unoriginal or banal. Good vibes. Cliches overused, Roland. Nooks and crannies, different small spaces. You probably find a nook or cranny in the wall of your house or in the rocks. So cold zero. Knowledge keeps unfurling. Yeah, that sounds fine, cold zero. Hubby now says facts. No, it's definitely findings. It's definitely findings. So the outcome is what happens in the end. Yeah, the outcome of the match. What was the verdict of the trial? What was the outcome? How did something finish? Yeah, the outcome talks about the final situation. Findings is the information, the synopsis or the explanation at the end. Yeah, the think about it and give the findings. Outcomes Advanced is the name of a rather loopy textbook of English. Okay. Try to join a speaking club. That's a good one. Okay. So, I don't know. He's a new student. Okay, utilize to use. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough for today. My voice is starting to go. I'm going to put a mark here so that I know where we've got to this time. I will see you all again next week, same time, same channel. You've been a great group. Findings, data, that's good. Information. Yeah, Cold Zero is a fellow Earthling. Okay, that's great, Cold Zero. Okay, so thank you very much, all of you, for coming. I'll see you all next week. Let's see what Seema says. Findings is also from the same family of related words. Report, research, survey, technical, relationship. Yes, that's very good. So, my voice will get better. If I stop talking for half an hour, I'll be fine. Have a wonderful week. Thank you very much, all of you. Yes, they're definitely still alive. I'm still fighting the Velutinos for them, though, left or right. So I'm going to leave the chat on for a little bit so you can chat amongst one another. And I will be back again next week. Take care. Have a good week. Stay safe. And thank you, Left or Right, and it was for the donation, and it was Annie Moore as well who made a donation. Thank you both of you.